Welcome to Film Study, an All American Universe podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast 5 stars, all that wonderful, awesome, amazing stuff. Season 5 is over. Season 5 is in the books. And we won't get season 6 until perhaps this fall if everything goes well with the writer's strike. WGA strong. But today we're talking about Jordan and Layla, breaking down everything that happened with them in the latter half of season 5, plus that surprise proposal. Surprise for some, not surprise for others. But yeah, I got Kaya and Carmen here, and we're ready to get into it. All right, let's let me say this disclaimer up top. Just like Halle Bailey's Ariel, something is caught in Carmen's throat.
What?
So she does have a voice.
Yeah.
But it's not as strong as she would like it to be. So bear with
It's
us all.
strong enough for Jordayla.
It's strong enough for
gonna-
Jordayla.
I was going to
Exactly.
show up for Jordayla even if I sound like this. Yep, sure do.
So anyway, let's start off with this. I feel like we've called a couple of things, and I'll outline those things when we get to those parts. But one of the funniest thing I think that has happened in this show is that Preach, of all characters, was listening to Carmen and I's conversation, because it was a while ago, right, Carmen, that I told you, the crazy thing about Jordan and Layla is they would rather be at peace than be correct. Did I not tell? I don't even remember
Right,
the first time I told you that. But it was a while ago. And Preach ended up saying that to Jordan right before he proposed. He said it's better to be happy than to be right. And I think that sums up Jordan and Layla's relationship super well. But before we get in, and we're going to get to the proposal first, before we get into that, I always ask this question.
Not the squeal.
Now I'm like, maybe we should just get into the proposal.
No. I need time to mentally prepare.
Okay. Always ask a question up top. My question was about their communication in our last breakdown. Let's ask this question. It's a fun question. We got to be really quick because we will get in depth into it later. But what was your favorite Jordayla moment of season 5 besides the engagement?
Are you talking to
Carmen,
me?
you have one on your. She's
Like,
talking
come on,
to
like you
both,
want to pick?
girl.
You want to pick one?
Yes,
Oh
one.
gosh.
What is your favorite? I gave you the
I
questions
know.
ahead of time. I don't want to hear any complaints.
No, quit it. Don't even front like that. She gave the questions like 20 minutes ago.
And
No, it was literally half an hour. And
listen, and I feel so bad because I came at her like, that's the question ahead of time, and I'm literally just looking at the questions. Literally just looking at the questions.
No, it's okay, Carmen. You get a pass because you got it like 20 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago. At this point, 45 minutes ago.
Oh my god. Okay, favorite moment in this season. I cannot pick a favorite, but I would just throw one out there. The I love you.
Yeah, what is the first thing? I love you.
Yeah.
Is okay. That's
Yeah,
cool. That's a
'cause
good one. That's a good one.
like
That
that's
is
crazy.
good. One. See, it's the one that's stuck
Right?
in me.
Like who came up with this one? This is a disgrace.
What's the first?
All great things comes in threes.
What's the first thing
Okay.
that popped into your mind?
The first thing that popped in my mind is 5 3-second kiss.
That's a really good. Oh, you all have good ones. This is like an off the wall small little moment, but I will always love when she's just like stop being so dramatic. When he's just like
That's a good one.
oh, if this is a deal breaker. So those are at least off the top of our heads.
Is that
some of
like
our,
this,
some
let's
of our
just let's
favorite.
just agree that it's impossible to pick one. Like
Yeah, it's impossible to pick one, but those are the quick ones if you give us no time. Um, so let's get into this proposal because I know that it's going to take up the chunk of this time, so we got to finish it off first. Start
Mm.
off with it first. We'll get back to this. Is almost like a continuation of what Kaya and I talked about during our review of the season finale. One of the things that we did say that we were going to get back to is the proposal and like looking at the proposal in depth. And so we'll talk about what led up to that moment a little later on. But when it cuts to Jordan on his knee, this is Jordan's whole entire monologue that probably took me on the 20th listen to actually sit and write down.
Not the 20th.
It was the 20th. And it still gets me. I still gasp. Like seeing him on the seeing him on one knee, I still like, oh my god.
Like, yes. Listen, that scene has me so gone. I kept rewatching it for the purpose of this podcast, but I kept forgetting that's why I was watching it. So I was like, yeah, I
Literally,
get excited, and
that's
they'd
what
be
it
like, I
does.
was like, girl, you
That's
must
why
be
it took me until
focusing.
20 watches because I
Yes.
was just like, you literally just focus on the scene and you forget why you're watching the
Yep.
scene. But this is what he said. He said, uh, the last words my dad said to me, we've already identified that was a lie. But the last
Lie.
words
What?
my dad said to me were, tell Layla she officially has my approval. And I didn't even tell him about us. He could just see how happy you make me.
Those are his words, word for word.
I can even. This is. Usually I can get through it. I'm like, oh my gosh. He said, baby, when I'm with you.
Yes.
Come on,
Yes.
Joy.
Come on. Come
Let's
on.
go,
Deliver.
Joy.
Come
When
on.
I'm with you, I feel like I'm home. He feels like
He
he's
is.
home,
Mm.
Yes,
man.
he is.
Mm. Mm. Come on. Come
He don't
on.
gotta be nowhere else.
I
Mm.
I am so in love with you.
You know you gotta put the
I don't
in there. So
I
in
know I'm
love.
so in love with you. I don't want to spend a day of my life without you knowing it.
Knowing it.
Ooh,
That you
ooh.
knowing it. It's the way he said it.
Let's pause there because it is the way he said it. And this is what we said we were going to come back to. Kaya, what did you say he sounded like? You said he sounded like he
It was
was
like
from.
he was from the shore, yo, like Jersey Shore or something. I said, my man done got some thug up in him.
Literally.
Like, I said, okay, Bone Thugs
I
and
was just
Harmony. Like,
like. I
sure.
was like, oh, he got a little up in him. I was
I'm
like,
done.
coming from
I'm
Jordan.
done.
I'm pretty sure right before that proposal, my man went and took a stroll around the block a couple of times in Crenshaw just so he could like get that feel for it.
So he can tap
I don't
in.
want to.
So he can tap
He
in.
said
So he
he
can
said
tap
I
in.
need to be more I need to feel connected with my dad at this moment. And he not even true Crenshaw, so I gotta
Right?
go deep. I gotta go deep in the hood.
Right?
Oh my
He had to
gosh,
walk
he was
around.
sniffing his daddy clothes that he left up in Crenshaw and
I'm
everything.
so done with her.
I need to connect to my roots.
Stop. Oh my goodness. Let's be honest. Did Michael actually go to Crenshaw for real, for real? Like, I really think he did. He was just
I
like, I
think
need a little something extra.
I
He
feel like he
went.
was in the house. He went back to that house. He had to connect to
Hmm.
his daddy more
He went to go talk
Oh
to
my
Grandpa
goodness.
Willie.
without you knowing it.
He had to tap in.
He got a little thug in him.
On his knee at that, my man, come on and deliver.
The loud gasp that Layla makes.
This was
The
shook. She was shook.
the
She was shook. Why you making it sound like this girl over here swallowing hiccups?
I'm with girl. She was severely hyperventilating.
She was. Then he says, so Layla Keating, will you marry me?
We finally got the words. That's the thing.
I know. We finally got the words. We're not even excited. We're just excited that we finally were able to get his whole speech down.
My baby's getting married.
They are. But what do we think of the first part of his proposal? Because obviously this is maybe something that he, was rehearsing. So he like this is the part that he had down pat. Like automatically you have to think it, because he already had the last words. My dad said to me.
Yes. But
Oh gosh.
So, what's obviously he's nervous, but what's going through his mind? What do we think is going through Layla's mind after he does this whole speech that he gives down on one knee? But first, what's going on
First, she
in
went into
Jordan's mind?
shock. She went into shock first before we even got words
Yeah,
out.
you
It,
said
it,
forget about Jordan. Layla was in shock.
he was in shock before he even got like the words out his mouth. Just him being down on that knee just like shook me and Layla both. We was like, wait a
I'm
minute,
weak.
you know?
This reminds me of last season when she was like, when I love how the proposal has changed from it being you and Jordan to now you and Layla, because you used to be like, stop playing with me and Jordan, she's playing with us, and now she's like, oh no, he shook
He
us
shook
both,
me and
he
Layla.
shook
We
me
talked
and
about it. We
Layla.
talked about it. We wasn't prepared. Like we knew he was in love, but wait a minute.
Not
I'm
you
so
traded Jordan for Layla and said we wasn't prepared.
I love them both. I love them both. You know.
Oh
as you
my
should, Carmen.
gosh. Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
I'm sorry. Back on
But
track.
no, you're good. So we know that she was in shock. Is that a fair assumption, Kaya, that you just think that she was in shock? Was she thinking anything else?
I feel like she was in shock. Not like a bad shock though. I think it was mostly shock because she was now putting the pieces together from the day that they had just had, and
Yeah.
like how he was reacting that whole day with her thinking it was Jamie who was getting proposed to, and his reaction, because ultimately it was like him wanting to propose to her the whole time. So I feel like it was just her working all of that out in the moment in her mind, in her,
Yeah.
while he was
Yeah.
on his knee. Like she had to take all that in.
She really did, and it's so interesting because it's easy for me to say as an outside perspective, but it is so funny that she didn't even have it didn't seem, I should say, like she had an inkling of the fact that he was going to propose,
No,
even with his, as she called it, temper tantrum earlier in the day. And it's like, why does he care so much about this? Like that didn't even enter her mind.
not at all.
No, no, no.
Until she saw he was on that knee.
Okay. Like her whole world. Like, wait a minute. It ain't take her long to say yes, though. It didn't take her long.
It did not, it did
No,
not.
she was just trying to give him a chance to shut up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping in
I'm
there.
so done.
I mean, you're correct, she was
Yes.
prepared as soon as she.
He took too long though, so she just said yes. Like she was holding it.
Yeah, she
Yes.
honestly, that was probably the funniest part of the proposal, is that he then goes into she does say because like we said, she was in shock, and she's just like, and then he goes into, oh, okay, I swear I had a much bigger moment planned, there's gonna be fireworks and everything, but JJ found out about the ring, so I had to act fast. I know we're young. I know marriage is a really, really big deal. And I know I probably should have asked you about it first. And then that's when Carmen, she's like, all right,
Yes.
shut up,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. But she realized he ain't gonna shut up. She just like yes. I'm like
He was really just going to keep going.
yes, yes. He was about to explain about his pet in kindergarten. If he just kept going like no, just it's yes. Jordan is yes.
Look,
He's
he
back
already
in
got the
kindergarten.
important stuff out anyway. She was like, "We don't need no more of this. Like,
Literally.
I don't need to hear about the what ifs of the fireworks." Like,
Exactly, exactly. She was already she was prepared to say yes. She was trying to give him a moment to be quiet.
oh my
She
gosh,
was just like, you don't need to convince me. I'm already going to say
I'm
Yes,
yes.
yours. Like, it's a done deal, baby.
She said, I was waiting for you to say, because you already been my
period.
home boo.
Legit.
Been waiting.
She's like, "No, I can't say that first." Like,
Literally, oh my goodness. She said, I already said I love you first, so he
yes,
gotta
it's
say I'm
on
home. He
you. The
gotta
ball is
say.
in your court.
At home,
It's
right?
your
Exactly.
turn.
Like
Tag.
home. Like
Oh my goodness. And that him saying that, you know, when he's with her, he feels like he's home is so just important and key for her character, I feel, because when's the first time we meet her in the pilot, right? And she's alone. And the last shot we see of her in the pilot is her home alone. And she's always
What
been
was she in?
very.
A Pop Tart?
It was a hot pocket.
I know, but it wasn't in a hot pocket. She's on a part time.
Oh
Oh
my gosh.
gosh.
Eating the Pop Tart
I was
hot
like,
pocket.
look, girl didn't even want to cook for herself, but we know she can cook.
That's maybe the biggest surprise of all, I'd say.
Like, she
That
let me
Layla actually
microwave
can
this
cook.
right here.
Yeah,
Yes.
has been doing some recipes and stuff.
Why I
So
finna say,
there's
yeah, she
that.
cooked macaroni. I'm so dumb. Go ahead.
What?
In our script, which again, we're gonna talk about that too. Um,
My bad. I'm mixing up the reality to the script. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
and obviously she said we said that she said yes, and she was just like, "Yes, Jordan." I'll marry you. Sorry, I forgot about this. The fact that Jordan said, "Did you just say yes, sir?"
Like
Yo.
he was like,
He's so
wait,
Now
no.
you've
cute.
been screaming all episode. He hasn't even asked her. He hasn't even asked her.
I think because even though he was gonna ask her, he was mentally prepared to explain why it's okay. So that's why I was like, when she said it without his explanation being done, it was like, wait, what? It was like, wait, like I got his whole speech. Wait a minute, but did she just say yeah? Did she just say yeah?
Literally,
And she did.
it
And
reminded me
then
of their first kiss.
I was just about
It
to
remind.
say.
Go ahead, explain it.
I was about to be like, because first time around, my man done professed his feelings and they still had to wait the 6 weeks. My man probably thought that she would need time to actually think about it or at least like consider some things as opposed to that first time around because she made him wait. Whereas this time, the relationship, we're fully progressed at this point. So I think it was just a shock of how easy it was for her to just jump out there and be like, yes. Whereas before he was like, Layla, please, just what did he say in that freaking finale? He was like, tell me I'm crazy.
tell me you don't feel it. Like, no, you're not
Like
crazy.
Tell
he
me you
was
don't feel it.
You're not
pleading,
crazy.
yes.
You're not crazy.
Oh my goodness,
He
that man was
really
working
probably
hard.
thought
He
he
was
was about
working.
to plead
Tell me
again.
about you. Even before that, right? Tell me how you really feel about me. About us.
Yes. I feel
I don't care
lucky.
about the vortex. I feel
Bruh.
Lucky.
lucky.
Jordan say he don't care. He
There
don't
was no.
care. Jordan don't see anything when
Oh
it comes
my
to him and Layla.
gosh. They're like, nah, we're past that.
I was gonna also add is the fact that this also reminded me of this during their first kiss. After they kissed, he said, "So just answer me this one thing. Do you have feelings for me, sir?" She
You
just kissed
know
you.
that's my look. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Not
did
too
did you
much.
just say yes,
Not too much
sir?
on
She's
Jordan.
smiling.
Not too much on him now. Not too much on him
Not
now.
to, everything on him.
No.
Everything on the both of them. Um, and it's what I love about this also
She's
is
gonna be
that
Layla Baker.
yes,
Layla
she is.
Keating Baker. She's keeping the Keating.
She is keeping the kitty for sure. Um, but what I love about this is that after all that, and after she says like, "Yes, Jordan, I'll marry you," he goes to hug her and then kiss her, and then has to remember to put on the ring.
The
Yes.
best thing ever.
He was shook.
And her needing to touch him as he's putting on the ring is just
You
like,
know she got to
you
touch that
know,
man.
Yes,
when we
Carmen.
circle back to the beginning, really this idea that they're going to be in this together as a team and anything that they face is going to be as a team. I'm just thinking about this as I say it. But I feel like that's been their theme throughout season 5B is that like whatever challenges they face, either individually or collectively, they finna tackle it together as a team. They are a united front
As they should.
after 508. As they should, exactly. Even down to
Yeah.
putting on the ring, we're gonna do this together. Even down to put it on the ring. Yes, girl. Anyway, and then I love that kiss that they do. She goes and kisses. Look, she was so excited to kiss her face.
She always.
Look, I lived for my forehead touch. I said, if y'all didn't give it to me in this moment,
The forehead touch. Are you kidding me? The spin hug in the kit. It was amazing.
it ended on my foreheads. Like
She
Listen,
said ended on my forehead.
rent was due.
my head was there too,
Rent
Carmen.
was due. They had one shot, one take left.
I'm a weak.
She said rent was due.
It was because it is that scene still has me in a chokehold. Still, still. And the funny thing is just like earlier in that episode, Layla had said getting engaged, right? That's just Asher wanting to show you how much he loves you, right? Not even knowing that this would be Jordan doing this and everything. And so this whole sequence from Jordan to Layla was Jordan showing Layla how much he loved her, right? I don't want to go a day in my life.
You want to go not one day, not one more
Oh
hour, not
my
Not
god.
a
one minute, not one
single.
more second.
No, because it hit me again. Like,
My boy down
I
bad.
just,
It's over. It's it.
it's hard to see this scene as a fan of Layla and not just think about where she, like, what she's been through, what her past relationships were, all of that, and like how she
Hmm.
got to this moment, even her relationship with her parents. And now you have a guy that's here and it's just like, hey, you are my home. I
Ain't
love
going
you and I
nowhere.
want you to know it every single day of my life. I'm not going anywhere, man.
Nowhere. This is it. This
Nowhere,
is it. This is
nowhere.
the last curtain. This is the last call. This is it for him. There is no other. Jordan said he shall not look for another. This is it.
No, for
This
real.
is it.
For
Why? Oh,
real,
Carmen, why?
auntie.
Why did you real auntie? Carmen, now you say you should not look for another. Because when I first saw this, I was just like, oh,
You know how
not
you
this
know.
being, not this being, Abraham, Sarah, and
There was what's the name? You know when John went to jail
no,
and he was like, "Is you the one or should I look for another?" Nah, she the one.
I know. I'm saying another biblical comparison. I was
Oh,
talking about Abraham, Sarah.
now we're gonna take it to the bar. We're gonna take them to church. I forgot the
We
name.
really are.
Like yes,
Oh, but Hagar.
yes. That's because everyone that need a look want a husband. They need a Jordan. They need a Jordan.
But that's what I'm
Facts.
saying. Like, honestly, it's this is we're being funny here, but honestly, and for Jordan specifically, it's like Jordan, you was on your Hagar tip. You was on your Hagar tip, and God said, "No, that's not the promise. That's not the promise."
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? 5 seasons later, we will be like obsessed with like Jordan Baker from season one. Like no, just somebody else
I
to do it.
know,
Like
I know.
no,
Layla has that exact same thought running through her mind daily.
No, she
nah,
don't.
they was
No, she
crushing.
don't.
They've been crushing since they was
Let me
little.
live, bro. Let me live. Let me just get in a joke.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so speaking of them and speaking of this being the relationship for them and this being it for them. Um we got this question and I did wanna address it.
Mm.
But is this engagement a good idea?
Of course.
What do
Yes.
we
What?
think?
Yes. What?
We've
What?
been saying they've been married this whole time.
Period. Period. That's what I told Lexi. Like before we got proposed, I was like, they already married. I mean,
Yes, thank you for
if
putting a ring
if
on
we
That's
need
what
it.
to
Jordan
see it,
said.
fine. But they already
Jordan
married.
also said that in the episode. Being mindful, and I'm gonna add a little bit of context for this question is like, his father just died. They haven't been together for that long. Um, he's already had a situation before.
Thank
That's not the
you.
word they
Thank
use, but
you.
that's what I'm using.
Yes.
He already had a situation before. How does Jordan rationalize getting into this long-term commitment or deciding to make this long-term commitment, being married for a second time?
Jordan and I both do not acknowledge that previous situation. In the words of us both, what wedding?
Come on.
Um, so
It didn't happen.
it did not
Come
happen.
on.
Negative. And then with his dad dying, I mean, like he said, this girl right here, his one true love, is the one that really helped him through that whole process. Had it not been for her, he would not be this well put together guy that we see here today, y'all. That would not be the case
That's
whatsoever.
very true.
Um, I feel like their growth, just as individuals and in their relationship overall, really helped build a foundation for him to be able to propose to her as he did, as quick, I guess, as people would say, as he did. Um, and I feel like compared to that situation before, it's something he fully thought out, something that she's already thought about, because we already know this girl has been dreaming of being married to Jordan. Like, she was very much in love with him before she even told him she loved him. So I feel like on both of their parts, it's something that they both thought about, and they're both in the place to actually make it work going forward. And I also don't think it's gonna be no quickie wedding either. They about to be engaged for a minute, so
The way you
No
said that.
quickie. No quickie.
So that's Kaya's um, thoughts. What about your thoughts, Carmen?
uh,
Good idea.
it's
Jordan.
Jordayla. Like
thank you.
anything other than anything other than they meant to be. They meant to be like to say that his dad died. Like he's tripping. Like what? Are we watching the same show? Are we watching the same couple? Like they've been married. They already married. They
Facts.
what are we talking about? What Billy Death, the marriage that wasn't a marriage, the proposal. I not real, so I was like, oh, I think George just love proposing. We're not gonna act like he proposed before. Like this is the first proposal. Like we're not gonna
Yes,
act like
the first one
this is
with
not his
legit
first proposal.
words.
Okay?
Speak
Like,
about it. Speak
let's
about
just
it.
say, why not? That is not a proposal. Like, what are you talking about?
Let's I need to break in because we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna come back to the other situation. But I'm also gonna agree. I do think it's a good idea. I also don't think that they're gonna get married tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a long engagement. um and I will say
They
that Layla
already
has been
married. What are you talking about? What was?
that too. I will also say that Layla has been thinking about this marriage for a long time. I also think that next season we're gonna see in a couple of ways that she really does want to get married to Jordan, and just more of her idea why she said yes and things like that. Um, and it's funny because I pointed this out a couple of days ago when I went back to rewatch 420 after their engagement. The way that Layla, after kissing Jordan for the first time, giving into her feelings for the very first time, right, goes to see her father. The first thing she asks her father, "Oh, I thought this was like a marriage thing." Like, girl, calm down. I know you just kissed Jordan. I know you.
I know you just kissed Jordan.
Listen here, but also look who sat there and made that girl so excited about her dad's relationship with Aaron. Jor.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. She was so excited about what was going on with Jordan that she was just like, I thought it was going to be a proposal because naturally, right? When she told Jamie, oh, this is just the next step, right?
She loved weddings. We didn't see my girl in the flashback. She got her whole wedding planned up.
I was more excited about a potential engagement than she was about Jamie having a baby. Let's just. Um, but getting to the differences, to Carmen's point,
That they married already?
well,
Not that
to
one.
his previous situation, to his
Oh
previous situation,
gosh.
saying, "Are we making a mistake?" Because that's the first words that came out of his mouth. Saying, "Are we making a mistake?" We've been saying, "Why not?" So why not? That's not a
It
proposal.
most definitely is not. Them writers, thank you very
Nope.
much. They knew what they were doing. They said, look at the
Yep.
signs, people, look at the signs.
Let's also not forget that he skipped, right? He skipped all the vows. He
I'm about to say, he ain't say nothing. Like,
didn't say
That,
anything. He
that was
said,
Olivia.
"Oh,
That was
can we skip to
Olivia
the part?
vibes.
Can we?" But then, look, they didn't even have that. I mean, when he was just
I'm
like the
saying that
the
whole
the
episode was really given to
it was
Olivia.
forced
That's what it was
it
about.
Bolivia.
was it was for Bolivia.
Do you notice in this one there was nobody but Jordayla? It was nobody like this.
They had the conversations. They had the conversations. Yeah, to that point, it wasn't Spencer and Spencer and Olivia reasoning.
I
You
know you were
know,
not about to say
is
that
this?
other girl name.
Listen, I had to rewatch the season, and that girl was there for too long. So don't not
Oh
too
my
much on me.
Too
gosh.
long. Too long.
But Spencer and Olivia reasoning, oh, should we or should we not support Jordan in this mistake that we think that he's
They
making?
would never know.
Um, and this time it was Jordan really being solidified and confident. Like, I mentioned this during the review as well, but he had a rebuttal for everything that Layla was saying about Jamie and Asher. And he was responding as if she was talking about
Mm-hmm.
Jordan and Layla. And he was just like, right, they're two in love, they're too perfect for each other. He won't know until he asks her. He was very confident, which was not the previous situation. Also, want to note, just to wrap up this whole Jamone note thing, that their marriage was annulled. And an annulment means, first of all, it was an illegal marriage in the first place because Laura never gave her consent. Second of all, it got annulled, which means it never even happened legally. So he was never married. There was no proposal. So this is really his first. This is really his
Yeah.
first
She tried
That's
to say
go
that
at the round.
all I ever
she
saw
tried
it
to say
as.
something offensive to the Jamones.
Listen, and the thing is I think that for folks not to further answer that question that we got asked, for folks to think that this engagement is not a good idea, I think that they would in their minds take that previous situation seriously.
They're haters.
I also think that they're taking that previous marriage, if you want to call it in quotation marks, seriously, but I don't view it that way. We
Even
don't
if
view
you
it that
want
way
to
on
take
this
it
podcast.
seriously, compare it to this relationship he has now. They are polar opposites. And that thing was annulled.
I'm
Like,
telling you. I- I'm just saying y'all haters.
you Jamoners.
I, I'm
Oh my goodness.
tiptoeing
Well,
down
so
for
there.
Jordayla.
To be fair, though, to be fair, there's also quite a bit of people who love Jordan and Layla who are not a fan of them getting engaged so soon and so young.
I can
I
understand.
don't care. I
I
don't care if Laura got a problem. If Laura got a problem, she can get it too.
can't.
Anybody that got a problem.
Not you coming from Mama Laura.
Laura is like, now why am I in it? My name hasn't
Listen,
even been brought up
Oh my
yet.
god.
it's if anybody got a problem with your daily engagement, they can get it. I don't care. I don't care. That's all I'm saying.
What were you gonna say, Kaya? In response to Jordaylas who might feel hesitant about this engagement?
What was I saying? I can see it like being an issue for people who support them as a couple. If it seemed like it was rushed. But these are two people who one have known each other their entire lives basically. Um, and have already had deep feelings for each other for a while before they even officially got together. And even just looking back over the course of this last season, if you rewatch it, that's the main thing. You gotta watch people. Open your eyes. You gotta watch, like Tyler Perry said. You gotta watch and open your eyes and just see all the
Gotta watch.
moments that they've had together, whether it be romantic or just like platonic as friends or whatever. Like, just matter of fact, I'm gonna make y'all a whole compilation of all their scenes so you could just see it play out. Watch something, no noise in the background, no nothing, like individual scenes, and just see their story build up. Because I feel like after watching that, you'll see how they're basically meant to be together. Like, they're each other's person. There's no one else that these people should be with, and the fact that they both know that too, which is why would we sit here and prolong this when we already know we both want to take that next step with each other.
That.
Like, we're just wasting time right here, and I can afford a ring, so like I'm gonna buy it.
Period.
And the thing is they've lived a lot of life together, more than most couples have. You grew up together. Obviously, she was best
They build
friends with
tent.
his twin. Built tents, exactly.
My
Built
fort.
forts. Uh, went through tremendous loss.
Yes,
Both of them have now lost a
and they've
parent.
been there for
One
both.
of them lost a and they've been there for both. One lost a parent early in high school, one lost a parent early in college. And they've been there for both. They've been in a relationship for one of those things. And so they have been through highs and lows. I don't always agree with this idea that they haven't been through things together. I think that they haven't been through, which is that now we can give this a callback, is one of the questions that we had is what will their challenges be. um and we all said we it's really hard to think of a challenge that you could throw at this couple and to have that challenge shake them, because they are so solid, and they are likely to have a bond that will just be so solid that they overcome it very quickly. And that's ended up being the case. That's ended up being the case. And so it's not that they don't go through things, it's just that it's really hard to find an issue that is, and I'll refer back to the headline when I say it's really hard to find an issue where they care more about being right than they care about being good with each other, and they just choose to be good with each other
Yes.
over one or the other.
Because they
That's
can't go
the
that long without
thing.
talking.
But my man said 6 hours was too long for him to be without his woman. He can't do it. She knows she can't do it. She was like 6 hours for you. Boo, I was done by like hour
And
three.
look, there was no wavering or second guessing from any of them. Like
No,
Layla said yes essentially immediately. Like I mean that Jordan didn't waver in his decision to propose, and Layla did not waver in her
Yes.
they
yes.
would
She
never.
was in shock. She was just like, "No, I'm trying to say yes. Can you let me
So,
say
yep.
yes,
As soon as
please?"
it wore off, she just screamed out, "Yes,
Yes,
She said, "All right,
yes,
shut
Jordan
up. I
out
know
my
what
that's
you're
ears.
my
talking about.
man."
Let me say yes." Um, Also wanted to quickly touch on this, and then we can wrap up and go back to the beginning. Uh, the idea that why do we think that Layla said yes? Obviously, we've been speaking a lot from them as a couple and Jordan's perspective. Why did Layla say yes? And did her yes have to do with the fact that she thought that like this was going to be a success in the moment?
That the wedding, that wait, that their relationship was going to be a success?
That their marriage was going to be a success. So
No,
like why did she say yes in the moment, and was the idea that like they were going to succeed at the marriage thing in her mind as she was saying yes?
I don't think she was thinking of it being a success at all. I feel like that was the furthest thing from her mind. And I feel like that because I feel like even before even before that day, she already felt like their relationship was a success. Um, she's in love with this man. I feel like she said yes because she wants to be with him. She know he feels the same way, and it's unlike any relationship that she's had in the past. He completes her. He's her other half. Mommy, and she don't got no mommy right now. Her relationship with her daddy is just now building. Like, and he's the one that's really helps her through all these things. All right, not the mama thing too much, but like rebuilding her relationship with her daddy, basically. My man's Jor. Yeah, he did a lot of that. Like, she's been there the whole time for him, going through his loss with his daddy. They are a match made in heaven. Like, there was never a reason for this girl to want to say no or even think about saying no. It was always going to be yes.
Always. You said it was always gonna be yes. What about you, Carmen? Why did Layla say yes? And did she think about whether or not it would be a success in the moment?
Cause that's her man. And she gonna
I
stand
love that
beside him.
answer. Is she gonna stick beside?
I'm going to
Like,
stick
bro, like
beside him for
what?
forever.
There, like that's it.
She
Like
said,
she's
"I promised that we would be united. So if you
what
propose,
she
I'm
see
gonna say yes."
exactly. She see forever with him and his little confession about his crush just confirmed what she been knew deep down inside all these years. Like,
She absolutely knew that.
period. Like,
That's why she
this
asked.
is
Uh-huh.
it. Her yes.
Oh, but you have said a
She got
firm
that
heart
yes is the
beating up together.
sandbox.
Girl,
She been waiting. She been having that yes in her back pocket since the sandbox. She was waiting.
But I agree. I think that she said yes because she's so in love with him, and why wouldn't she say yes? She has known that this is her person, uh and I don't think that she was like thinking of this, but she saw forever with him. I don't know if it's like I can't translate that into she was like this marriage. I'm thinking like 6 7 years down the line we will still be together. I don't think that she was thinking about that as much as she was thinking like I am in love with this man and he just called me his home and
Right?
he just said that he doesn't want me to go a day in my life without knowing that he loves me. And that is reason
that is something
enough
I've
to say
never had
yes.
before.
Something that she's never had. And it's funny because if you all have both of you watched the Jordayla Jamboree?
Jordayla Jamboree. Ah, yes.
No, I haven't finished it. I
So,
haven't finished it.
well, Greta said in that video that, you know, as she was acting as Layla and she was in the relationships that she was in the past, she was just like, oh, yeah, like this is, this is crappy. And she was like, Layla was miserable in her past relationships, which she absolutely was. But she was just like, yeah, as you're like first coming out of it, you're like, this is crappy. But then you start to realize how truly effed up those situations were.
And it definitely was for her to the max.
And it definitely was for
Two
her.
times
And
over.
so Layla, girl, two times over, very shortly after losing her mother. So for her to experience this love that she's never experienced before, she said yes because she was like, this is the love of my life. Um, did we just lose Carmen?
Oh my gosh, I just realized she's not here. Oh, Carmen.
She literally just popped up. But that was Layla's thoughts. And that's the end of the proposal.
Proposal?
To end this little session on their proposal, just listen to the lyrics, read the lyrics of the song. It fits them so so well. That they're engaged. They are officially
They're
fiancés.
married.
They're married. But in the show they are fiancés.
They're married. They're just doing it. They're just doing it because people say they need to see it. But they already married.
Which again, sorry, I keep saying, oh, to end, and never ending. But what did Carmen say when we asked the question the last time? Where do we see them going? What did you say, Carmen?
To the altar.
Getting married.
To the altar.
Didn't we
And
say
what
the
have we been
altar?
saying on the side? I wish people could like sometimes hear the conversations we have amongst
It's
each
too
other
many.
because the amount of times The amount of times that we have said Jordan sees a picket fence, Layla
Oh my
sees a
gosh, do you
family,
know that's in
Layla
the
sees a
song?
house.
Yep.
It is?
A picket fence. Girl, wait till you hear it.
Oh! Look out for Kaya's edits. But the amount of times that we've said that, the amount of times that I have said personally to Carmen that they are mutually trying to trap each other.
As they
Those words
should, as
exactly.
they should. May the best trapper win, and it look like it's Jordan.
I literally was just like,
It
it's
looked like
not
Layla
just
and
Jordan
Jordan.
trying to. Why did Layla say yes so quickly? Because she'd been trying to trap him too.
They trap each other. They're willing. They're willing being trapped.
They
They're
are
willing being trapped.
willingly trapping themselves, and that's why we think this engagement is a good idea, because they're willingly
They both
trapping.
won, so I won. I'm trapped too.
They both want this, so that's, why not give them what they want? And that is the proposal. That's the proposal. But we do have to quickly break down all of the other stuff that happened season
Carmen, it's the
before
fact that she keeps
the
reminding us
proposal.
quickly.
Thanks for listening to us breaking down Jordan and Layla's proposal. Stay tuned as we go back through season 5B, starting with episode 8, and taking us through the rest of the season to talk about everything else Jordayla went through this season.